Hello, everybody. How are you? I want you to comment on my post yesterday on some stuff I'm seeing on the social media. You know how I love spirituality, and it's crazy because I love the spiritual people, all the people I follow in the so called spiritual world. I love and support so much and feel like family, and yet half of the stuff they say just makes my hair stand on my head. So I feel like when you succeed, when you have the money, you're in couple, whatever, you find happiness, it's easy to forget a little bit. It's easy to be so judgmental. It's easy to be in the you have to be good with yourself first. You have to resolve your traumas, whatever. But you know what? I don't want to resolve my traumas. I want to be who I am. And personally, I'm not an angry person. Maybe it sounds like it when I post. I'm very adamant on my topics. I'm a very peaceful and very friendly person. Even most of the time, I actually lower my level of friendliness to look more normal. Otherwise, I'm like, loving everybody. I'm very grateful. It doesn't mean that I'm 100% in acceptance with everything that I see in the world. I believe that the acceptance of everything is detrimental to this world, saying that everything is perfect. Did you notice how it's all the rich ones, all the rich that tell you that everything is perfect? The billionaires, oh, everything is perfect. The universe is perfect. All the guys that have the best job, like millionaires, the fame and everything is perfect. Yeah, I get it. I know my journey. I know the stuff I'm going through. I was talking about it with my friend Helga this morning, actually. Every single thing that pops in my life is an added piece to the direction that I see. Even my book not being published just yet, I know one day it will. It's just a pause. Whatever, I choose faith over fear. All of that, yes. And yet, I'm not in acceptance. And if there are some topics that trigger you, I want you to stop listening to the spiritual community that tell you that you have a problem, that you have to be in total acceptance of everything. No, maybe you have triggers. Maybe you're a certain way because this is your mission to be like that. I've seen my mom all her life being screwed over, literally, by jerks. Excuse my language, there's no other words. Shameless, and that is she's trying to justify. I was crazy at her last night, but anyway, she's right. She chooses peace, and she chooses to say, oh, freedom is priceless. I'm in acceptance. I feel like people are finding themselves excuses that everything is perfect. Yes, that was the right time to move on to something else, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if you always look for an excuse that everything is perfect, you create a society of people who will never fight for their right, who never fight for what's wrong, who will always let the abusers, manipulators, freaking narcissists win the game every single time. So I'm a little angry because all of my life I had to argue with people that just think they're dominating the entire family, and I had to be this loud voice to tell them to go up themselves because nobody tells me what to do. I'm my own decision maker. I have my own values. I have my own judgment. I'm not gonna let someone dictate my mind. So it doesn't mean I'm not taking advice. I'm not complying. Sometimes there's rules. For example, my director in the school, he's very adamant in some rules and stuff. It doesn't mean I don't comply. I understand. He's got a role to play. He's got a whole 800 kids to bring together. Sometimes you have to make compromises to ensure harmony. Sometimes you have to be stricter, whatever. It doesn't mean I can fit to any rules, or that you don't ask advice or take advice from people that you respect, or that you never doubt yourself. But just because we're in a society now where we don't want the conflict, mostly here in America. In France, it's too much because they argue about everything. But the worst is that in France, they complain about everything, but they don't do anything. They complain, they speak at the terrace drinking rosé, but they're not taking action. They comply with their routine life, whatever. I like in America the fact that this is why I'm so obsessed with my mentors, even though I don't agree with everything that they say. But of course, there is also strategies. There's some stuff that you say to attract a certain category of people who thinks like that, and trying to also make them evolve along the way. There is different level of understanding in everything that you see. But the mentality of trying to find your best self, of trying to fight for your dreams, I was already like this. But in America, it's a society where people avoid conflicts at all costs. Everything has to be perfect. Oh, everything is perfect. The universe is perfect. Be in acceptance, be in gratitude. You have to unite, not separate. Okay, yeah, of course. I wanted to work with the United Nations. I work with the United Nations. There was the whole goal of my business, Pachamam Art, to bring together everybody through the art. So yes, uniting. It doesn't mean accepting everything. And well, because I always go from one topic to another, I derive crazy. But at least they have the mentality of going for it. Okay, so there is the two extremes, like yell and not do anything, and the people who want to reach for their dreams and everything and fight for it, but everything's got to be good. We avoid conflict at all costs. You know, you got to fight some middle range. Fight for your dreams, and also say it when there's something wrong. Because let me tell you, you choose mostly the people who watch my page. I don't have a lot of followers, but they're quality people that have pretty high IQ and values and consciousness. So maybe for you it seems obvious. Some values and being respectful to each other, and just because you say something doesn't mean you're gonna go commit a crime or whatever, you know. Even though sometimes some people deserve natural selection to be more selective really quickly, because they are. That's what you don't understand. There are people, mean people. There are criminals. There are people who rape women. There are people who steal. There are people who lie, that ruin other people's life, and they just laugh because their ego, you know, and they have everything, but just destroying that person's life just makes them feel so good about themselves. But imagine how pathetic your life is, that you have everything, but you have to ruin one person's life just for your ego because you won. Wow, crazy. No, seriously. So these people, I'm coming for them. Like, I'm sorry. It's sometimes you also have to, you know, the one eye, you direct the consciousness to attract the attention to some matters that if nobody talks about it, then it's unknown. Okay, there's no waves. You're in acceptance, there's no waves. No, I'm sorry. If you're committing crimes, if you're hurting people, well, make sure that I don't know about it, because I'm pretty loud. I'm gonna make waves and people are gonna know it, and it's in the ether, right? The waves are coming for you. So I don't want to be in fear. I don't want to be here saying, oh, I'm threatening people and everything. But maybe sometimes, yeah, we have to start fearing what's going to happen to us with our consciousness when, or in our karma, when we're just jerks and we're cornering everything that people are working for, the unity, the solidarity, all this work that's been done by so many humans, and you have this tiny bit of parasites, mean people that is, and most of the time, the people who think they know everything. You know, I told my mom yesterday, I was like, you know, there's so many people that are so certain of themselves and they're completely wrong and they don't realize they're hurting their own family. Like, look, all their family run away from them. Wonder why. If you want to start having a little bit of intelligence, you know how you notice a little bit of intelligence? It's the people who think they don't know anything. Once you start realizing that the more you know, the more questions you have, and the more there is to discover, and you're always so far from the truth, or from knowing everything that you know you have to be teachable, there is a little bit of intelligence because you're teachable. And the truth is in constant movement and is in constant evolution anyways. The timelines are constantly adapting, adjusting. Some stuff that you dream about, you have a vision, it evolves. Why? Because if it was just you in your world, you would have your straight line and you will go straight to it. There's 8 billion people in the world, so it's got to be timelines that adjust between these 8 billion people, so it can be the highest opportunity, how do you say, outcome for all, not just one. So this is why it's in constant evolution. If a group of people decide to go all of a sudden, they're going that way, then your timeline changes as well. Because we're all connected, we're all related. So yeah, of course, I want to see the good, and there are so many people who are focused on the good, but when I see all these Americans trying to avoid conflict and just in complete acceptance of anything, it just makes me even more revolted, because you have to speak up. It's not just me though. Me, I'm good. Like, I have everything I wanted, now I have it, and I have a job, so I'm going to be even more stressed in a different way, but I'm going to be more calm because I'm not going to have the financial struggle was awful, because this is what I've seen my mom be all of her life, depending on people and stressed financially. Even when she had a job, she was always struggling financially. And even when she was good comfortably, then there was guys who came and took everything and left her in debt. Like, constantly, these freaking energy vampires. When you have people of high energy, you attract the energy vampires. Okay? So, all this to say, don't be ashamed of yourself. Sometimes, okay, of course, you have to control your emotions. You can be constantly in reaction. But reacting doesn't mean that you haven't solved your traumas. Use your traumas to build your values and be proud of your character, right? If you're good enough, courageous enough to speak up when something is wrong and to denounce crime, that's some people, they live in fear. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, it's not just me. It's when I talk to other people on the phone and I realize how many are living situations like this. Not just me or my mom or close friends. The stuff I read on Facebook, or I call friends randomly that I haven't talked to for 10 years and they tell me everything they're going through. Everybody. That's crazy. So it's time for women or all the single moms they're just content. Oh yeah, peace is priceless. No, I'm raising my son. I'm not asking anything to the father because I don't want to be in contact with him. I'd rather be homeless, or I'd rather be struggling financially than fighting for what I deserve to raise my baby comfortably. Like, stop avoiding conflict. And I mean, of course, they have their reason, they have their choices. Every path is different. That's my opinion. Fight for what you deserve and mostly women. Because why? Because most of the time, typical scenario is that the woman stops working to raise the kids, and the man is the one who holds the finances, right? Or she takes care of the house, or she's taking care of the business. Most of men who have a business, the wife comes and she's doing, she's becoming like the accountant or doing the whatever. They're happy when you're there being their maid and doing all their little groceries and fixing stuff for them and taking the car to the garage and being their slave all the time, you know. But it's their money. Oh la la. Anyways, I'm so mad. So mad, guys. There these men who thinks that they control their women just because it's freaking money. I'm telling you, take it. Take the money. Like like no pity. No pity, seriously. So yeah, whew, that was my little venting for tonight. Oh yeah, no, because now now it's trauma. You know, if you're mad at something, oh, it's trauma. Or she has unresolved trauma. Yeah, now I'm the problem. How about the freaking millions of people that are in jail because they kill people? They don't have trauma? Seriously? Maybe if someone had yelled before they commit the crime and didn't mind their business, there would be less people in the jail, and we would take it early and offer counseling and solutions and change the society. And maybe a little bit of shaming sometimes doesn't hurt, so you put a mirror in front of people's face and realize that they're hurting someone else or their action is completely wrong and stupid, whatever. But don't worry, because most of the time these kind of people, they don't have that level of questioning themselves. They think they're always right, so I'm probably speaking for nothing, because, you know, the people who watch my page, usually they're already at that level of consciousness, and the stupids, they don't question themselves ever. But at least you're able to recognize them and whatever, you know, just be yourself. And maybe sometimes you're really kind, and sometimes maybe you're really kind and you're too generous and you give too much and you're too loving and you're naive, and that's good as well. Like, the world needs people who trust too much, who are naive, because I'm also like this. It's crazy because I feel like I have 5 different people. I have completely different personalities. Like I'm super loving and generous and kind, and I tolerate sometimes way too much than I should, because I believe we're in a world where we should support, trust. I don't want to be paranoid to everybody that I meet. Sometimes I have this crisis of paranoia, and all of a sudden everybody's a criminal. I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, they're all in it. Like, you know, I don't want to live like this. I'd rather be a little naive and trust the people, because I want to be in a world where we give our trust and we can be loyal and we trust each other. And there is this other side of me that says, don't trust anybody, no pity, like, but know to make the difference between the people you choose in your life. Choose well. And the people that you choose to have in your side, in your camp, then these are the ones that you're giving your trust and your loyalty. Then the people, the vampires that come just to feed but never give anything back, right? They're just here for the good time, but then they disappear. First discussion or first question, there's nobody. Then these people don't even have a space. So that's being human. Imagine if we were all like, oh, everything is perfect, everything is beautiful. How boring. Like, that would be great if everything was perfect, but I will be like this when I don't see a crime, when there's nobody else in prison anymore, when all married couples are happy and respect each other, when all single women are abundant and rich and have a lot of money to never worry about feeding their kids, and all the schools are filled with happy kids and have all the fundings they need to have beautiful decorations everywhere. And yeah, okay, when this is like this, and we're in a pretty good area of the world, okay, but it's not like this everywhere. So I think there is a little bit more complaining to do, and just to raise awareness. Some people, it's like the kids. Some kids are, you're gonna yell at a kid, he's gonna hate it. He's probably not gonna listen, but he's still gonna think about it. And some other people, now in the school, it's a lot of positive encouragement, positive talking. Oh, it's great that you're doing that. It's great that you're doing that. It's a training. We don't want to be in opposition. So it's finding a balance between the reward, the praise, and everything, and still be able to be strict and enforce, the discipline and the rules and the values. It's mostly, for me, it's not about rules. I don't like rules. It's about the values. You have to enforce the values and be more flexible with the rules. So finding your balance, I think. Anyways, thank you if you're still watching. Thank you for being around. Don't let people step on you. Fight for what you deserve. Fight for what is right. It's always the jerks who win the game in a short term. In the long term, the angels win the battle. Okay? So let them win their little battles, but in the end, you're gonna win. Okay? Think about that. Keep the faith, but don't let men rule your world or other dictators. Okay? All right. Have a great day, everybody.